Greetings, Glitter Gang, and welcome back to Kathryn Scraps Live. My name is Kathryn, and today is July 27th, 2023, and this is the start of our Christmas in July project. So for the last few years, each July, we have done a Christmas in July project. And this year we will also do one. I think we need a new notepad, but I'm not sure. So let's just double check. All right. Well, we have one page left, so let's see if we can get it done. Okay, so here's my thought with Christmas in July. My general thoughts. One thing I wanted to do was, instead of doing a bunch of different pages, showing you how you can bind a page a bunch of different ways, okay? So the three things that I have in mind when we talk variations and when we talk page styles and such is, how are they going to work? One, in a box. Okay. Two, in a book. And then that's with infinity. And then three, in a book. I'm just going to say in a binder because it's going to be with holes. Okay. So when we talk about our designs and things, we're keeping in mind that we are going to do, when we do the construction, we're going to do three variations. I'm going to show you how to do it if you're going to bind it, if you're going to just put it in a box, and if you're going to put holes, if you want it like attached with holes. I'm going to show you all of those. The question is, how do you want to handle, we're going to have to like vote on which one is the one we do all the way. And probably, actually, it should probably be in a box, right? Is the one we should do all the way, because we'll have made a box. We have to make a box no matter what. Infinity binding, you've seen that a million times. You don't really need a tutorial on infinity binding. And if this is the first video you're seeing of mine and you're like, I need an infinity binding tutorial, there's a ton on my YouTube channel. I've been using it for probably 10 years now. So it's there. Anything with a hard cover that I do a tutorial on from start to finish is going to have one. And then in the binder ring, as long as I show you how to attach the thing that we're going to punch the holes into, you'll be good, right? So we'll probably do the in a box version. Okay. But we want to just make sure that we know the various different versions. So with that in mind, when we talk about our design style, we're going to talk about something that would look good standing up in a box, something that would look good bound into an album, and something that would look good on holes with a thing. So I've been thinking about the wallets that are like, it's like a wallet with a phone case on a string, and they look like this. Okay, so usually on the front there's some kind of pocket for the phone, and then on the back there may be a flap pocket, and then maybe in the middle they open up, and on that inside you put your credit cards. Okay. All right. So what do we need? We need some kind of closure as well. Something that we can use to wrap around. Okay. We need some kind of pocket, and we need a way to stick it all together. So here's what is, when we talk about the construction, I'm going to show you the 3 different ways to make it, because each way is going to need its own thing. And here's why. Okay, so in a box, it can literally just look like this. It can just be a little wallet. Okay, and you can make a little wallet for each day. And you can, this is, let me just back up a little bit. This is Christmas in July. This is a Christmas album. I have done it with the December Daily project by Ali Edwards in mind. But with the variation being that you only make one of these for each day where you actually do stuff you want to record, and then you put them in the box. Okay, and then you have a cute little home decor piece, like you have a cute little box, a little Christmas box you can bring out. It has all these little activities that you've done that you can flip through, and you can see the photos and all of that. Okay, okay. So, so we have to talk about when we go to stick this down. Okay, how do you make it? So if you're making it to go in a book, we have to have some kind of split here. This can't just be a fold, you know. It has to be in 2 pieces so that the infinity binding fin can go in between them somehow. All right. And then same thing with the binder with the holes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a thin piece of chipboard, like the cereal weight, you know, and I'm going to use a spellbinder's die to put a decorative edge on it, and then we'll put holes in that decorative edge. And so each of these wallets will have a tab sticking out the back with like a scallop or something. We'll figure it out. We'll look at the spellbinder's dies and we'll pick the one that we want. Sticking out the back, and that can have 2 holes in it, 3 holes, whatever you want to do. And then we'll have the binder rings, but it's like, how will we attach it to that? That's what we have to keep in mind. So when we think about construction on this project, we have to keep in mind that we have to make it 2 different ways, because these 2, they can have the same construction, I think. But not that one. That one's going to be different. So anyway, that's kind of the idea. So we need to think about how we want to do this. So I want to, first of all, I think I want to gusset in the middle. So what I mean is the spine will be like, or when we talk about this wallet piece, I think I want like it to be able to expand a little bit, kind of like an expanding file folder. You know, it has those little peaks and valleys in it. I think I want to just do a peak and a valley in the middle, and then we'll have the 2 sides. And that way, if you have days where it's particularly plump, you know, it can go in. And then what we'll do is we'll put a metal disc here on the back so that this flap can go around to that. We'll make this a magnet flap. And then that metal disc will be on technically the front of the pocket, so it can reach around. And then this metal flap will go in between this window pocket on the front and the side. So we really have quite a few elements we've got to figure out. And I am going to need a bigger piece of paper. So, by the way, we're now officially done. This book we've completely filled. So, congrats to this notebook. You made it all the way to the end, buddy. You made it all the way to the end. All right, so this notebook's retired. Retired. All right. All right, so, okay. All right, so for this, first thing we want to think about size. So I'm thinking if we make it 5 inches wide, and maybe we just make it 5 by 7. But I'm thinking that way we can put 3 by 4 photos in the slots on the inside. So maybe overall size, all right. All right. So the front piece, if the whole book is 5 inch by 7 inch album. So the front piece, the front window. All right. Let's start there. If it's 5 by 7, I think what we'll do is we need to make it, well, do you want to open on the top or the side? I need to get the other book out. We retired this book too quickly. All right. Do you want the opening? Do we want things to go in the top so it's open on a 5 inch side? Or do we want things to slide in the side so it's open on the 7 inch side? What do you think? Do you want it to open on the 5 inch side or the 7 inch side? So are things going in the top or are things going in the side? Yeah, see, I think the side would be more fun, Ella. I think we might enjoy the side. So let's do this. So we're going to make it so we need one piece of cardstock that is 6 by 8. And then that's cardstock. And then we need one transparency that's 4 3/4 by, no, it is. It's 4 3/4. Woo! By 6 3/4. And that's transparency. Okay, and then we're also going to need a pattern paper to construct around that is also at least 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And I'm going to say let's make that 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. And that'll be pattern paper. Okay. So that'll make the front window. All right. Then we have the back pocket. I'll explain how it can go either way, Jill. It will be the same technique. It'll just be up to you whether you do it on the top or the side. It's not going to change it, the technique. So the back pocket, again, this is going on something that's 5 by 7. I want it to be stepped down, I think. Well, no, I did want it to be stepped down, but then I need the metal piece to go to the edge. So it's also going to be 5 by 7. So for the back pocket, so we're going to have, it'll be a 2-piece pocket. So the bottom pocket part will be 3 inches by 5 inches. So it'll be 5 inches wide, or not 3. It'll be 5 by 5. Okay, it'll be. Do you want to have 2 inches at the top, or so? This is 7 inches. You know, do I want 2 inches or 3? I want 3 inches. Okay, so we'll make it 4. So it'll be 5 inches wide but 4 inches deep. So we need 1 piece of cardstock that is 7 inches by 4 plus 1, so by 5, and that's CS. And then for the flap, we need one that's 5 inches by, and it's got to come down. The pocket is down 3 inches. So the flap's got to come down at least 4. Now maybe do I want to adjust the pocket? Yeah. Let's make this 4. So let me just draw quickly what I'm talking about. So, you know, we have the pocket, and then we have the flap that comes down over it. And of course they have to overlap by at least 1 inch in order for your magnet to grab, or your Velcro to grab, or whatever you're going to do. So if I have this come down, start at 4, then I've got to have this come down at least 4 so that they can overlap in the middle. And I don't think I want this that long. So I'm going to raise this one up. Okay. So, and in fact, I need to make this 6. There's always something that gets crazy. So that if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7. So this is 5 by 7. I'm going to have the pocket come up 5 inches, and that way the flap can come down 3. All right. So in order for this to come up 5 inches, it's got to be 7 inches wide, and then 5 plus 1 inch for the flap at the bottom. That's 6. And then for the flap's got to be 5 inches wide by, and then 3 inches is how far we want it to come down. But we need another inch for the attaching flap, so that's that. And then I'm just going to remind myself I need a metal disc. So I know that's part of the construction. Up here I'm going to write magnet. Flap, because I need to remind myself that I need to make some kind of magnet closure. And then also on the back we just need a pattern paper liner. Very similar to here, we can just do 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Okay, and so this pocket will have the pattern paper will be back here, you know, so that when you open the flap, you see the nice pattern paper. All right, so now we have we'll just call it the wallet. Okay, so we know that the wallet, and actually with the wallet, we're going to have to do V1 and V2. So with V1 will be the one that's in the box. So this is the one that's unbound. Okay. So we can have our pattern paper be a continuous piece. The only question is, do we want it to be to have a gusset or not? I think let's do it. So instead of being 10 inches, it's going to be 11 inches. So it's going to be 11 inches across by 7 inches long cardstock. That's the base. So it's going to look like this. Okay. And then we'll score it here, here, and here, so that we have a little bit of expansion room in the middle. All right, then we can do, well, now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, what if instead of doing like wallet stripes on both sides, what if we just did wallet stripes on one side, and on the other side we did a step back pocket so you could slide something in between the back. So essentially on this side there'd be another piece of cardstock here. Maybe we decorate it and you can slide stuff underneath it, stuff that's larger, like 4x6 photos. And then on this side we'll do the wallet pockets. So to make this piece, we're going to need a piece of cardstock that's 5x7. Yeah, that's 5x7. Not 5x7. That's 5x9. So that's the pocket on the right. And then over here now, to make these little guys, we're going to need, how do I want to do these guys? Okay, so there's a couple different ways that we can do these slits, and basically there's two different ways. The way is each pocket's a different size, meaning they all go straight down to the bottom. So the smallest thing, so this pocket would only be, you know, 3 inches. This pocket would be 4 inches. This pocket would be 5 inches. And so you could put things that were up to 7 inches in this pocket, up to, you know, 4 inches in this pocket, up to 3 inches in this pocket. So each pocket would go all the way to the bottom, and they would just, each pocket would be longer. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is make all the pockets the same size so that they could all only hold 3x4 photos. So there's just more variety one way than the other. So the question is, all the pockets the same size like an actual wallet would be, or all the pockets different sizes so that they would have, they would look like they were all the same size, but they would all be different on the inside. I don't know how else to just, what am I trying to say? Let me see if I can find something that has pockets real quick. Okay, let's just, for maximum versatility, do it so that each pocket goes all the way to the bottom, and that you have, that way you have more options. So in that case, what we're doing is we're just putting, so let me see, if we do, we have 7 inches. If we do one that's 3 inches, and one that's 4 inches, and one that's 5 inches. Is that the way to do it? Or is it to be do 3, 4.5, 6? Let's do 3, 4.5, 6. So to make the 3-inch pocket down here, okay, what we need is, we need a piece of cardstock that is 7 inches wide, because it's 5 plus inch on either side, plus 3 plus 4. So 7 inches wide times 4, and that's out of cardstock. And then we need one that's 2 inches, or 7 inches wide by, let's do 2.5 inches long, and that's out of cardstock. And we need 2 of those. 2 of those. All right, and those will be these 2 pockets. They'll just be like simulated pockets. Okay, and then So that'll be for wallet version 1. So now we need wallet version 2. And this is the one that will be bound. So we need to do it in 2 pieces. These are the inside pockets. This is the back pocket. These are the inside pockets. It'll probably help once we make one of them. We're just doing the planning right now. And I know sometimes the planning can be like, you know, hieroglyphics, I guess. So, so this is the inside of the wallet. This is the back pocket. This is the front window. And the front window is also a pocket. And it can have an opening here or here, and I'll explain how you do it either way. And so this one has 1 long pocket and 3 short pockets. Okay, so with this wallet version 2, it has to be split down the middle. So that's the big difference, yeah? So rather than being scored here, it's chopped in half. Okay, and by chopping it in half, that enables us to put our binding bits where we need our binding bits to go. All right, so examples of how we're going to do that would be for the chipboard one, we're going to need to do, okay. So if we have this is our piece of chipboard, then we need 1 page that's going to attach like so, and 1 page that's going to attach like so. Okay, so that chipboard stays, you know, in the middle. So the big difference is how are we going to do our expansion, you know? So I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah. All right, so I think that we'll solve this problem by adding an extra inch. And what we'll do is we'll make a 1/2 inch, we'll fold that extra inch around that piece of chipboard. So that we can get around that, and then that around the chipboard or the binding flap, whichever, you know. I don't know that this is going to end up working very well for infinity binding. I'm going to throw that out there, that I don't think that this is a page style that's going to end up being very well suited to infinity binding, because I think it's going to end up being very heavy. And so I do think rings or just making the box is probably the way to go, but you'll be able to do it chipboard, rings, or infinity binding, whichever. So, okay. So we'll just do 12 inches by 7 inches cardstock, and then we'll make that extra V in the middle for attaching a chipboard. That'll make more sense once we have a piece of chipboard that you're looking at. And then the rest of them stay the same. So it's just that first one that changes. So still 5 by 9 over here, 7 by 4 for this bottom pocket, and then 2.5 inch strips, which are basically going to be pocket dividers for above it, here and here. Okay. All right. So those are all the measurements. Okay, so what other measurements do we need? We need the strap. So we need something that's at least wide enough to hold decent sized magnet. So I'm going to say, let's make it 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches like from top to bottom. So it'll be something by 1.5 inches. And then we'll do, how long is it going to be? Let's see, let's just say it's 6 inches. And then we'll go from there. Okay. And then we'll say it needs a magnet / Velcro. And you know what I'll do, just because I'm very nice and it's Christmas, is let me say we'll do an optional loop. Optional loops on back pocket. So for those of you who don't want to do magnets or whatever, who only want to use paper, we can make loops and we'll just attach them to the back pocket, and there'll be two, let's see, let's say we want them to be 1 3/4 long, but they need to like wrap back around, you know what I mean? So let's add an inch to that. So we'll say that they're 2 3/4 inches long, and then just 1/4 inch wide. We don't want them very thick, and we'll reinforce them with Tyvek, and I'll just say add Tyvek for strength. Okay. All right, so where those will be, if you're wondering, is they'll be here and here, so that the strap that comes off the front and wraps around to the back can slide under them. So you don't have to do these. These are going to be totally optional. But right here on the back, we're either going to put a wallet. We're either going to put loops for the strap, or you'll put a magnet for the strap to attach to. Either way. I'm just looking at this and realizing it's just like a lot of pieces. So, yeah. It's a lot. Another simple Christmas project. Another simple Christmas project. Okay. Yeah. Another quick and easy project. Indeedly. Okay. All right. So, now that we kind of have an idea of what it's going to be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a recording break here. So this is the planning session. I do these on these free projects. You get an idea of how I kind of figure out how to do things so that you can, get more bang for your buck out of any album basics guides or tutorials that you purchase, because you're also seeing ways that you can, make changes to your projects and things. So that's all. But what I'm going to do is in the next video you see, if you're watching on YouTube, will be a construction video for this project. So we'll be doing, what we'll be doing is we'll put one together for the box version. So we'll start with the box version and we'll go from there. And we'll do construction of the box version, and then we'll do construction of the non-box version. So the unbound version and the bound version. And then in the bound version, I'll explain the two different ways that you would bind it. And I'll show you like how I would attach the chipboard and how I would attach the infinity binding. And then we probably won't talk about those again. So if you want to do a bound version, you'll have what you need to go forward, but I will do a box version, if that makes sense. So in the YouTube video series, you'll see how to make the unbound version and the bound version. You'll see, okay, well, if I wanted to attach this to have a chipboard binding with rings, how would I do that? I'll show you how I would do that. And then, but the start to finish project where we do the whole thing, that will be the box version, okay? So that'll be the next video that you see. It will be the construction of wallet version 1, so the unbound version or the box version. That'll be the next video. Okay, so if you're watching this in the archives, just click ahead to see the next video in this series. If you're watching this on YouTube, the next video will be posted in a day or two. Or if you're not watching this at the time that I'm doing it, if you're watching it later, just check the playlist section for the 2023 Christmas in July album playlist and see all the videos from this series. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'm live every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time and 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. We do crafting like this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.